What the hell is a publishing deal? What is an admin publishing deal versus a co-publishing deal? I'm here to explain it in the simplest terms possible. Admin publishing, in simple terms, is a verified publisher who can collect all your additional royalties, and they take an admin fee anywhere from like 5 if you're like Adele to 20%. But then you'll remain the owner of your publishing. Admin deals are usually not advance driven, although you can get an advance, and in my particular case, I signed a $135,000 admin deal with Sony Music Publishing. That meant that the day I signed my deal, they wired a check to me for $135,000. The split that I have for my admin deal is 85-15 once that $135,000 is recouped. So basically, I'm not gonna see a dollar until that recoups, and then from there I have a pretty favorable split. Co-publishing, in simple terms, is a verified publisher who can collect all of your sitting royalties, but they now own 50% of your publishing for the length of the deal, if there's any option periods, and there most likely is if it's co-publishing, and if it's a perpetuity deal or if it's like a reversion deal. So perpetuity would just mean they sign you to a co-publishing, anything prior and during the term, they're gonna own that with you 50-50 forever, versus reversion could be anything prior to the deal and current to the deal, they'll own with you 50-50 for the next 10 years. I've seen 15 years, I've seen 7 years, I've seen 3 years. My admin deal, for example, is a 3-year deal, but because they're not gonna own anything, they have a 4-year retention period. So I can go sign a new deal after my 3 years is up, but only based on my futures and things that I have in the pipeline. Admin deals are built on ownership, smaller fees, no advance, and great terms, whereas co-publishing deals are built on kind of like partnerships, big advances, and okay terms. I've seen some good co-publishing terms, but a co-publishing, they usually will say that, oh, we have creative services for you, we'll get you in the studio with X, Y, and Z person. I think a publisher will do their best to get you in the studio with somebody. Nobody can make anybody get in the studio with somebody they don't want to get in with. So I'd say if you're in a situation where somebody's offering you a co-publishing and they're talking about creative services, the best thing you could do is go talk to people that are working with or signed to that publisher and get their thoughts, because it's going to be a mix. Some people will be like, oh man, I love my publisher, they keep me busy. Other people will be like, man, I haven't heard from my publisher in a year. Other people will say like, man, they're okay, they kind of give me bullshit sessions. It's a mix, right? I know closed mouth don't get fed. If you constantly are going to your publisher and asking, you're probably going to get a better situation out of that, versus if you sort of sit with your hand out hoping that they can, magically read your mind and get you in with whoever you want to get in with. I am quite literally going to do what nobody has probably done before. I'm going to show you how much I signed for, how long my deal is, what that process was like. I'm going to show you my Sony Score portal. I hope this video doesn't get taken down. It should be fine. It's my fucking portal. It's my money. And I'm going to show you how much my shit's recouped, even though it's not accurate by any means. I've had a big registration issue. It's been a whole thing. As you can see, I am inside of my Sony Music Publishing Score portal, and you see a current balance of $130,000. That's not accurate because I've had a bunch of registration issues and things have claimed to be collected, but they're not really being collected. You see it right here. I signed in June 2022 for $135,000, and in the first royalty statement, it claims that there was some studio time that I billed to my account. That was nice. They're saying that I had only made $92 from my royalties. Now, obviously, that's super inaccurate, and I didn't really check my Sony Score portal like I should have, or at least I just assumed that was a glitch in the matrix and that this would be corrected on the next one. The next one hit 6 months later, and you see it. It says that I only made $56. Then you see where there was a bunch of back and forth, a bunch of email change. Stuff is slowly starting to get registered. On this next one, they're saying that there's $888, and once again, I'm still having registration issues. Some things fell through the cracks, and I'll be really interested to see what all this recoup truly looks like, because I have over 1 billion streams at this point, and I have pretty good splits on most of it. So there's no reason that it shouldn't be a fairly significant chunk of change. I'd say by the end of the year, I'll either be half recouped, no pun intended, or fully recouped if all the stars align. It's just good to know, because most people will sign a deal, say, hey, I made it, and forget that this is a loan. and you have to pay it back. And not only that, you have to pay it back through performance. And that's a hell of a lot harder to do than if you're just working a day job and just putting X amount of money back into a loan. What I find interesting about this is it allows me to look at some of the work that we've done and go, all right, well, this was a lot of fun to do, but how much time did it take? And would I want to do it again, knowing that I may or may not, just see a return on my time? And sometimes I really hate to make it about money or business, but at the same time, I do need to support myself. I do need to support the people around me, and I need to make sure I'm securing my future for the sake of a family that I don't have yet. To sum up this video, I signed a deal with Sony Music Publishing for $135,000. I flew to New York to have my little signing photo op moment, and as my registration has gotten fixed with Sony, I've started to see much bigger royalty checks on a quarter, which has been amazing too. Music doesn't pay nearly as much as most people think, separate to a hit or crazy radio play. And you should always remember that if you're signing a deal, it is quite literally a loan, and make sure you can pay it back if you plan on signing a deal again at any other point. I think the biggest thing I'm trying to focus on is establishing healthy money habits, because when you have, $10,000 production fee here, $15,000 production fee there, I just don't think that's healthy, because you forget that it's, this accumulation of all the years that you were broke, and now it's why you're getting paid well. And so you just start blowing through cash like you're a millionaire, and it's just not healthy. It's like, it took you, 90 days to get that 10,000. So just divide it by 90 days. That's really what you got paid. And you got to put some of that in the bank. So when you start making money, please put something away, even if it's $10 a week. Just start establishing that habit. You get a $10,000 check, see if you can pay yourself out over 3 months. As somebody who has just blown through hundreds of thousands of dollars, if it's sitting in your account, you will probably find a way to spend it. Just do something with it when you get to this point. Thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope you learned something from this video. And if you have any questions in relation to my deal, please comment below. I love answering questions.